want to do. And one thing you want to do is if you go to annotate, this is where you basically go into 2D CAD. Okay, now we're in 2D CAD, and I can create what's called a detail line here. And I can go ahead and say, okay, a line, yep, I want a line. I want to go from here over to, how far do you want it to go? I want to go to there. Okay, so that line just goes there, and that's just a plain old line, nothing really too tricky about it. And then for this decking at the top, we also want to go to here and drag this over to here and drag this over to there. Now that's just a couple of things that we have that we can then work with. Now, the next thing you need to do, and the last thing, we'll do one more here. Okay, so what you've got going on right now is you would then need to hide some of this information. Now to do that, we're under annotate, and there is a thing called a masking region. Now what this allows you to do is create a graphic that obscures elements in a project or family. And so if you're taking a look at this, see this video going on right now? This video shows you exactly how it works. And so it creates this little video and then it masks over the top of it. So I can do the same thing and say, you know what, I do not need to see this information inside here. So let's go ahead and make a new masking region. When I do that, did that work? Yeah, so go there. Okay, and it masks it now. See that? So now that masks it, and then at this point I can say I do not want to see the boundary, so I want to send it to, actually, let's see here. Boundary. I don't want to see that boundary, so let's see here. How do I do that? We'll bring it to the front. So here we will bring this little thing to the front, and bring it right to the front like that. And it should cover pretty much everything, and it does. And then it looks like it's going to give me a line too, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull this down here, and that kind of takes care of that problem. And that's how you work with regions, and this is how you would go ahead and you go ahead and mask this too, so it looks like I have it drawn. So that is how you would do that. And sometimes your lines kind of like get obscured depending upon what's going on. So you might need to kind of like zoom in and zoom out to see it. Now, the next thing we talked about before is your insulation. Okay, your insulation's right here. We click here, and we see that we can go to the midpoint here and just drag it straight down, and we can go ahead and fill that cavity with insulation like that. And once you've done that, you can then take it and just kind of use your arrow keys to place it, kind of nudge it into place right there, and we go there. And by the way, if you can't get it to go where you want it to go precisely, zoom in. When you zoom in, it gives you graphic control at a higher level. Okay, so there's that. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is how to go ahead and put in the other things. Let's see here. Let's see. All right, so okay, and then down here we're going to go ahead and put in a stud. We talked about this last week, and we would go here and under nominal cut lumber, we go to 2x4, and we go ahead and grab that.
Where did you pull the string from, or the installation from?
Pull what from? What did you ask a question about?
The insulation. I saw it and I didn't see where you grabbed it.
Okay, insulation is, okay, there's that. Okay, so I just dropped that stud in place and notice that it automatically takes the forefront, so it shows up in the front. Yeah, the insulation's right here. Under annotate, insulation.
I don't have those options, so what do you
Are you on the
have?
annotate tab? Okay, hit modify, get off it. Okay, go here, and then let's go, sometimes you've got to go through this a little bit to make it work. So click on architecture and click back on annotate, you should have it, unless you're in the middle of an editing command, in which case you'll have to get out of that first. It really is there.
If your ribbon is gone?
It really is for true. What's that?
What if your ribbon is gone?
If your ribbon's gone, it means you either minimized it or you turn it off. To get it back on is right here. You just click on this up there right here until it shows back up. Okay, I'm gonna send backward level. Send backward. Okay, so that is how we go ahead and do that. Any questions on what we've seen so far? All right, Jason, did that answer your question for the most part? Okay, and then the rest of it is all, you know, I did this all last week, I don't know if I really need to do that all again, but what we did is we went over this, and, the other thing you could do is if you needed other lines, like for instance, these are being stubborn, you can just go here and you can go ahead and create a rectangle to make that, you know, show up like that. And so there's, you know, there's some cool things you can do there. Then, yeah, okay, and so that is that, yeah, that's actually a dash thing, so, anyway. Oh, I need to change that from hidden to, oh. Just what I was. Okay, and, so anyway, you get the idea. And the thing is, so there's a few things you do there. Now, the last thing we talked about was how to put in text, and we go to text here, and, you can go ahead and put in a note.